The season finale of Alien Earth is here, and it might be the most important moment in the history of the franchise since Ripley first set foot on the Nostromo. Episode 8, titled Emergence, does not just end a season, it reshapes the alien mythos forever. With shocking deaths, hidden Easter eggs pointing directly to Alien 1979, and a final sequence that feels like a declaration of war between species, this finale leaves fans with more questions than answers. And that's exactly why we're here, to break it all down. So let's dive in. The calm before the storm. The episode opens on a shattered Earth, with corporations scrambling to cover up the devastation caused by the Xenomorph outbreak. Prodigy and Wayland, Yutani hover like vultures, each fighting for control of the hybrid technology that Wendy now represents. But buried in this opening are small details only eagle-eyed fans will catch. On the skyline, a neon billboard flashes the words, "Building Better Worlds," the exact Wayland-Yutani slogan that will later define the corporation in Aliens 1986. And in Boy Cavalier's office, the camera lingers just long enough on a datapod with the phrase, LV-426 survey report, pending, a chilling setup for the future colonization mission that kicks off Cameron's sequel. The Xenomorph evolution. For 7 episodes, Alien Earth teased the idea that the Xenomorphs were changing, evolving in direct response to human interference. Episode 8 finally delivers on that threat. The new emergence strain is faster, smarter, and eerily coordinated. In one sequence, they move as a hive, communicating in ways more akin to military tactics than animal instinct. This shift is reinforced by an Easter egg buried in Dr. Ju's lab notes, a brief reference to queen differentiation at accelerated rate. Fans of Aliens will know exactly what this implies. The early groundwork for the queen life cycle itself. Wendy's choice, but make no mistake, the heart of this finale belongs to Wendy. In a tense standoff inside the ruins of Prodigy Tower, she must decide whether to side with humanity, or with the creatures she now shares a psychic link with. The dialogue here is razor sharp, but there's a subtle callback that hardcore fans will love. When Wendy whispers, "They're not monsters, they're survivors," it echoes Ripley's line from Alien 3, when she describes the Xenomorph as the perfect organism. This isn't accidental. Holly is deliberately reframing the narrative so that Wendy becomes the philosophical counterpoint to Ripley. And then comes the ending, the final scene, Emergence. The final 5 minutes are pure nightmare fuel. Wendy walks into the hive. The camera tracks her from behind as the walls pulse with resin and bodies. The creatures part, allowing her to approach the central chamber. And waiting there is not just a Xenomorph, but something new, something unfinished, a hybrid. Its body is skeletal, its movements jerky, as though caught between human mimicry and alien instinct. It reaches for Wendy, not to kill, but to acknowledge. And when their hands nearly touch, the screen cuts to black. The final shot, the logo of Wayland-Yutani stamped on a recovery ship leaving Earth orbit. A chilling reminder that the real threat has always been the corporations. That's the setup, Easter eggs. An ending explained section of the first half of the finale was about shock. The second half was about implications. What these events mean not just for Wendy and Joe, but for the alien universe as a whole. Hidden details. You probably missed the Predator tease during the jungle sequence. Listen closely when the soldiers are tracking Wendy and Nibs. The audio mix includes a faint clicking sound, layered under the Xenomorph screeches. This is the unmistakable Predator vocalization. Holly doesn't draw attention to it, but fans know what it means. The Yacha are aware of what's happening on Earth. Whether they're already on the planet, or watching from orbit is left unclear, but the sound is deliberate. The Nostromo's future crew in Cavalier's office, one of the files briefly visible on his desktop includes the name, Dallas, A.J. That's Captain Dallas, the future commander of the Nostromo in Alien 1979. This suggests that Prodigy and Wayland-Yutani were already recruiting or monitoring the crew long before the events of Ridley Scott's film. Nibs' fate. Episode 8 leaves Nibs in a broken, possibly dying state after Joe's intervention. But sharp-eyed viewers notice something strange. When the camera pans across her body, the veins in her arm glow faintly with the same blue bioluminescence seen in Wendy's neural link with the Xenomorph. This implies Nibs may not be gone. She could return as something even more dangerous, perhaps a corrupted link between human hybrid and alien. Wendy's psychic bond with the Xenomorphs. The finale makes it clear that Wendy doesn't just talk to the aliens. Her bond is deeper, bordering on symbiosis. When the creatures move aside to let her enter the hive, it's not fear, it's recognition. This has massive implications. It suggests the Xenomorphs are capable of collective memory, passing impressions from one generation to the next. It means that Wendy may now serve as a kind of queen surrogate, able to guide their behavior. And most dangerously, it puts her directly between humanity and the hive as a living bridge. For the first time in the Alien franchise, the monsters are not simply antagonists, they're part of a shared destiny. Season 2 theories: where does the story go? Wayland, Yutani's takeover. The closing shot of the corporation's logo on a departing ship confirms they're now in full control of the situation. Expect Season 2 to explore the birth of the Wayland, Yutani Empire. As Prodigy is either absorbed or destroyed, Wendy may become their most valuable weapon, or their most dangerous enemy. The rise of the hybrid queen, the unfinished creature at the end, is almost certainly a proto-queen. Season 2 could chronicle the evolution of the first fully formed queen, explaining how the hive structure we know from Aliens eventually came to be. Joe's fractured loyalty, Joe shooting nibs, will not be forgotten. Wendy's scream wasn't just about grief. It was about betrayal. Season 2 could see the siblings pulled apart, forced onto opposite sides of the conflict. Joe aligning with humanity, Wendy with the Xenomorphs. The Predator warpath. If the Predator tease is real, then Season 2 may also mark the first canon crossover of the two species on television. The arrival of the Yacha would not only expand the scale of the conflict, but also cement Alien Earth as the bridge between two of sci-fi's greatest franchises. The true horror at its core, the finale reminds us of the same truth Ridley Scott introduced decades ago. The monsters are terrifying, but the corporations are worse. By ending with Wayland, Yutani's cold, clinical control of Earth's chaos, Alien Earth sets the stage for a story where survival might not even be the point anymore. Domination is the finale doesn't just close a season. It cracks open the mythology of the entire Alien universe. Beneath the horror and corporate games, one truth is undeniable. Wendy is no longer just a character. She's a living rewrite of the Xenomorph's destiny. Wendy's forbidden evolution. Up until now, every story in the Alien franchise has been about the same cycle: humans stumble upon the Xenomorphs, the hive expands, and someone desperately tries to contain it. But Wendy changes the rules. She doesn't just communicate with the aliens. She feels them. When she screams at Joe in the finale, the Xenomorph in the woods doesn't move because of a command. It reacts to her emotion. This isn't language, it's psychic resonance. That bond suggests something terrifying. The Xenomorph hive mind may not be a closed system. Wendy's human consciousness is bleeding into it. The monsters may start to think like her, and that raises a forbidden possibility. What if the next generation of Xenomorphs inherits empathy from Wendy? Or worse, what if they inherit her rage? The biological endgame. Ridley Scott's original film gave us the idea of the perfect organism. But perfection has always meant purity. The Xenomorph as a weapon, untainted by humanity. Alien Earth dares to ask the unthinkable. What if the perfect organism evolves by bonding with us? Wendy's existence breaks the binary. She's not fully human, not fully machine, and not fully alien. She's a fusion point. If the hive follows her lead, the Xenomorphs may become something entirely new. Intelligent enough to strategize. Sympathetic enough to manipulate. Strong enough to wipe out both humanity and their corporate masters. This isn't just survival horror anymore. It's the rewriting of natural order. Ripley's timeline in danger. Here's where things get truly unsettling for fans of the original saga. Alien Earth is set in 2120, just 2 years before Ripley boards the Nostromo in Alien. But if Wendy reshapes the hive now, before those events, then everything we thought we knew about the Xenomorph may no longer be true. The monsters Ripley fights could already be altered, carrying the imprint of Wendy's hybrid mind. It would mean Ripley's story is not the beginning of humanity's war with the Xenomorphs, it's already the middle. The true origin lies here, with Wendy and Joe. The forbidden future. Wendy as Queen. One final, terrifying thought. The unfinished proto-queen shown in the finale may not be the hive's leader at all. It may be a decoy. The real queen, the true ruler of the hive, could already be forming inside Wendy herself. Not physically, but psychically. By linking to every Xenomorph she encounters, she becomes their nucleus. She doesn't need to lay eggs. Her mind is the hive. If that's true, then Wendy isn't just a hybrid experiment. She's the mother of all future Xenomorphs. And she may not even realize it yet. Season 2's darkest path. Joe tries to save his sister, but in doing so, he may actually be protecting the very force that will doom humanity. Wayland, Yutani doesn't want to kill Wendy. They want to own her. If they succeed, they don't just control the Xenomorphs. They become gods. And somewhere in the stars the Predators are listening. To them, the Xenomorphs were prey. But Wendy, a hybrid hive mind queen. That's a challenge unlike anything they've ever faced. Alien Earth ends its first season not with closure, but with an unspoken question. A question the franchise has never dared to ask until now. What if the Xenomorphs stopped being monsters, and became something even worse? A civilization.